Hey guys, what's up? It's once again MP4Podcast.com, and I got some really interesting news that you guys have to hear about this. Valve, the creator of Half-Life, alright, get this, is getting ready to produce their own console system, kind of. It's going to be a little bit on how Android works, where Google does the OS side, and then they let other hardware manufacturers make the phones and tablets and so and so. That is what Valve wants to do with the Steam box. And rumor has it is that Alienware is making the Steam box. Now, I found this article at The Verge. I'm going to leave a link in the description box to this article in case you guys want to read it for yourself, because it is pretty interesting. Now, Valve has also applied for a patent for a very special controller where the buttons can come apart and so. So let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. For all the Street Fighter fans that are out there, you know, the original Street Fighter was 6 buttons across, and now today's controllers are 4 buttons, and now you have to get a special controller if you want to play Street Fighter the old way with 6 buttons. You know, it's a little bit of a pain, to buy another $30, $40 controller when you already have a controller for that system. Well, what if you could remove blocks? Okay, there's a block of 4 buttons. It pops out, and you put another block in with 6 buttons across. You know, you don't really have to buy a brand new controller. Maybe you can just buy a part that's anywhere from $5, $7, $8, $10, like that. And other games can, have different parts for different games. Now, we all know that Steam is a downloadable service, but Valve also does make games available for retail. So I'm kind of hoping that the Steam box is going to be kind of like Valve, how they treat the PC in their retail market with Steam. If you want to buy it through Steam, downloadable, go ahead. That's fine. But if you want to be somebody like me who, might want to buy a retail copy, let me buy the retail copy. But here's the thing about the retail copy. If they can implement this with their controller, so let's say you buy a new type of shooter or RPG or whatever, the parts for that, for the special buttons, for that game could be in the package. Okay, so maybe you buy Street Fighter 7, whatever, when 7 or 6 or 5 or whatever it is, you can have that block with the 6 buttons, and you can pop that right into the controller. Another thing that Valve is really a big, strong supporter of is free DLC. Now, Valve and some other companies have said this as well. Offering free DLC keeps used games off the shelves at GameStop and a lot of other retailers. Now, the reason why they don't like used copies is because the retailers get all that money. Even Amazon and Best Buy is doing. So, these companies aren't really out to screw you. They're like, hey, let's give them more free stuff, so they keep on playing the game. They become more, super fans of our products. And by the time we release another game, they're going to be even more happy about buying that game. All right? Epic Games had that problem with the first Gears of War. They released some DLC. It had to be paid for 3 months, and then after 3 months it was free. And then it never really happened like that ever again. All of these DLC now is paid for, and that's something that Valve doesn't really want to be a part of. They really aren't really big fans of the PS3 hardware. Gabe has actually spoken on that issue, but he decided to do it this time because in some ways PS3 is more open about how they release stuff. It doesn't always have to get approved and have somebody look at it. Well, we don't like the how it plays. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo, and actually Apple is a little bit like that with their apps and how things get approved, where Android is a little bit more open how they get things approved. So it's going to be kind of interesting if we are going to maybe have 4 or 5 consoles. And I know Apple once again involved with the Apple TV 3 and iPads, iPhones, and iPod Touches, and right now the only two games that you can play on Apple TV 2 are Asphalt 6 and Real Racing 2, because they're steering games, because you don't have to look at your device, you just look at your TV set. So it's going to be kind of interesting next generation, but this Steam Box does seem pretty powerful. 8 gigs, 8 gigs and an i7 CPU. So anyway, guys, leave your comments below what you think about this. Is Steam Box real, or is it just all rumor? Take care, guys.